I like to subscribe. This is Dino World's channel, Freaky Fridays. Anyways, without further ado, apparently this UFO that's crash landed. So we'll see what that's about, shall we? Like and subscribe, guys.
We're jumping right into Chile, January 12th, 2026, where witnesses captured this UFO quickly falling out of the sky. It literally twinkles like a star, yet it looks like it's descending very quickly. Let me know your thoughts on this.
Ooh. Oh, yep, that definitely crash landed.
Absolutely fascinating. Now, was this a crash or were they landing here on?
We don't know if they're landing or they were crashing, but yeah, that looked like it was in America somewhere. Let's do it.
Earth? Y'all, that's not the only UFO. Absolutely fascinating. Now, was this a crash or were they landing here on Earth? Y'all, that's not the only UFO on January 12th. Over in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, an elongated craft was captured zipping across the sky. What could this be?
So it's going real fast. It looks like the cigar one. Like the real like cigar type UFO that's been sighted. Wow, it's a mental mark. What the heck? Let me just go back 10 seconds on that.
I find it absolutely fascinating. Witnesses tried to look up to see if there are any SpaceX launches or satellites going by, not that those would be elongated, and there should have been nothing in the sky around that time, especially in that shape. Stranger still, that elongated craft actually reminds me of a UFO that was sent in by viewer Mohsen Agdam. This occurred December 8th of 2025, and it was captured over the Iran and Tehran sky. Why are these so similar, even though they're so far apart?
Have you been injured due to a slip, trip or fall in the last 3 years? If the answer is yes, you need to keep watching this video. If you suffered from an injury...
Goodbye.
Mohsen also captured an orb at 5 in the morning.
Well, I didn't see it.
Mohsen also captured an orb at 5 in the morning. Thank you so much for these submissions. Take a look. And those aren't the only elongated crafts we've seen. As viewer New Eureka 1980 submitted this clip from Manasco, Puerto Rico, where you see this strange elongated craft in the sky, and it's kind of just hovering there. The difference with this one is that it's not bright and lit up like the other moving crafts. This one is dark and ominous. Smash like, check this out.
That is. Oh, that's mental. It's huge. It looks like one is out there.
I was like, yo, what is that?
Wow, it looks like one is out there.
we go. Nanya. What is that? I don't know. I'm gonna keep watching it.
Let's see the birds. Let's have a look.
Pagar. Que bagulho louco, mano. Apagou.
Oh, God.
This is real footage of an incredibly dangerous island in the middle of the Indian Ocean where nobody is ever allowed to visit. And it's not because it's impossible to get to, but because the people that live there won't even let you get close to it. This is North Sentinel Island, one of the most mysterious and protected places on Earth. You see, North Sentinel Island is pretty tiny. It's just 23 square miles of untouched wilderness. There's no roads, no ports, no building, no farmland. Nothing man-made is visible from above. It is just thick, unbroken forest wrapped in coral reef that is sharp enough to rip open the bottom of any boat that tries to get close. Hidden inside that wilderness is a group known as the Sentinelese, a tribe that has remained isolated for tens of thousands of years. And almost everything about them is still unknown. Their population, which there are estimates between 50.
I found this overgrown entrance while out on a hike, so decided to head in and explore it. But right away things got pretty creepy.
What was that noise?
Thinking it was probably just the wind, I headed inside and began to explore. I followed this long weaving tunnel that led me through a chamber filled with these huge metal doors until I reached this very long staircase leading deeper underground. Heading down to the bottom, I was then met with another even longer tunnel that eventually led me to this massive metal door. But passing through it, I was about to find something else quite creepy.
Look at this place. That is crazy, all the footprints.
But I continued deeper, and soon the condition of the tunnel got worse, until it branched out to lots of different rooms. But I still had no idea what this place was. Finally, I did reach the end of the tunnel, and found a collection of small rooms. In this one, it actually looked like the door had been blown off. On the other side of the room, I found this tunnel that led me back outside, at a different point in the forest. I still have no idea what this place could have been, but whatever it was, they really wanted to keep it secret. I found
What's hiding at the top of Devil's Tower? To find out, I'm climbing all the way up to see if any of the theories about this mysterious tower are true.
Are there going to be aliens? Are there going to be government secrets?
The climb started off great, but soon we reached this impossible looking section that we somehow have to get up. So my friend Noah decided to try it, pressing against each side of these massive rock pillars that some people believe is actually a giant ancient tree. It was going well until about 100 feet up, when this happened.
Damn, nice fall.
But we were determined to explore the top, so after Noah made it up to a small ledge, it was my turn.
Alright, time to get worked.
Alright, climbing! Pressing with my hands and feet, I slowly shimmied my way up, trying not to fall, until I joined Noah at the halfway point.
Yes. Woo! Let's go.
But one last obstacle was standing in our way, an overhanging roof of rock that Noah decided to tackle first.
Yeah, dude, really good.
Whoa.
Yes.
And so, after continuing up the final 100 feet, we were about to get our first look at the top of Devil's Tower.
I think we're gonna make it.
The top was surprisingly flat, with lots of grass and bushes, but to our surprise, we saw something sitting at the highest point.
Yeah, what's that?
At the top, one lonely sign was blowing in the wind, with a very helpful message. So that is what's hiding at the top of What's hiding at the top of Devil's Tower? To find out, I'm climbing all.
Sometimes life doesn't protect you by giving you what you want. It protects you by removing what you don't need. You think things are falling apart, but in truth, they're falling into place. The Stoics believe that the universe is not against you, it's guiding you. Every delay, rejection, or ending might be divine protection in disguise. One, you're losing people who no longer align with your peace. It's not rejection, it's redirection. When your energy rises, certain people naturally fall away. The higher power is clearing your path. 2. You face sudden endings that force you to grow. You didn't fail, you were redirected. The universe removes comfort to strengthen your soul. 3. You feel a deep sense of peace, even when things make no sense. That calm in chaos isn't ignorance, it's divine protection. It means your soul knows something your mind doesn't. 4. You're being tested repeatedly by similar situations. That's not punishment, it's preparation. Life keeps testing you until you respond with wisdom, not emotion. 5. You're guided by intuition more than logic. That quiet inner voice is your higher power whispering, "This way." When you listen, life flows. When you ignore it, chaos begins. 6. You're being isolated. Not everyone can come where you're going. The universe hides you before it elevates you. 7. You find meaning in your pain. Every wound taught you strength, patience, and emotional mastery. That's not luck, that's divine orchestration. 8. You look back and realize every loss made sense. Every ending brought you closer to peace, purpose, and clarity. That's how you know you were protected all along.
Okay, guys.
Sometimes life doesn't protect you by giving you what.
So I was out here yesterday walking the dogs, and we go off the beaten path, off the dirt roads, into the deep woods, into the deep mountains, and that's where we find the best places. And so that's how I came across this place, this beautiful little location, and I thought, yeah, okay, it's time for that coffee. The dogs are running free. As they do, I sit down, go to make my coffee, and I'm just enjoying it, the peace and the solitude of being up here in the mountains. So as I'm drinking my coffee, I keep getting whiffs of this smell, dreadful smell. The smell of rotting flesh, the smell of death blowing in the breeze. And it keeps coming, and it's coming in the breeze. So I get up and I make my way over to where this smell is emanating from. And as I do so, I'm hearing the sound of tooth on bone, that scraping sound. And so I'm walking towards this smell and sound, and of course, a bone. Perfectly normal, right? That's perfectly normal. We're out here in the wilderness. You're gonna find bones. Another bone, cool. More bones. Let's go. There's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with that. That's normal. But then what I found abnormal was more bones and a skull. And another skull. And another skull. And another skull. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 skulls, bones, 8, 9. All of them in one tiny place. I find that pretty abnormal. Just up this tiny hill here. Obviously, more bones. There's just everywhere.
The world hides secrets that baffle scientists. Some are dangerous or unexplained. Here are the top 5 mysterious discoveries. Comment which one shocked you the most, and don't forget to like and subscribe before they're uncovered. Number 5, Easter Island, Moai. Colossal statues carved by an ancient civilization. How they moved them remains a mystery, and some areas are unstable to explore. Number 4, Göbekli Tepe, Turkey. The world's oldest temple excavation sites can collapse without warning, hiding deadly pits. Number 3, Yonaguni Monument, Japan, an underwater city. Strong currents and hidden rocks make diving here extremely dangerous. Number 2, Nazca Lines, Peru. Enormous ground drawings visible only from above. The terrain is fragile. One wrong step can trigger landslides. Number 1, the Pyramids of Giza, Egypt. Centuries-old tombs filled with traps and hidden chambers. Exploring them without guidance is risky.
That's cool. Wow. That's a mental rock house. Wow.
Level up your game night. Get paid to play games. Go to TesterUp and choose a game to play. There's a bunch to choose from.
The great outdoors is breathtaking, but it doesn't forgive mistakes. Some adventurers head out seeking beauty and challenge, only to meet horrors they never imagined. In this video, we're diving into part 2 of the worst real-life deaths in outdoor adventures. Stories where nature, human error, or cruel chance turned epic journeys into tragic nightmares. And yes, we've got the proof. In October 2018, 29-year-old Jordan Grider, an experienced outdoorsman from Moriarty, New Mexico, set out on what would be his most ambitious journey yet. His plan? To camp alone through the brutal winter in northern Minnesota's remote Boundary Waters Canoe Area wilderness. It wasn't a spur-of-the-moment adventure. This was something Jordan had been preparing for his entire
I'll go camping. It's a bit warmer, thank you.
adult life. Jordan wasn't your average guy. He was the third of 6 brothers and had spent more than a decade mastering survival skills in the wilds of Kentucky and upstate New York. He didn't consider himself homeless. He said he had a home, but simply preferred to live outside. Off-grid living, self-reliance, and solitude weren't just hobbies for Jordan. They were his way of life. In September 2018, he celebrated his birthday with family. A month later, he headed into the Minnesota wilderness alone. He brought with him gear, supplies, and the mindset to survive one of the harshest winters in the U.S. His family, familiar with his independent streak, still couldn't help but worry. On October 8th, Jordan sent them a photo of a peaceful beaver pond near his chosen camp. It was the last time they'd ever hear from him. Later that month, Jordan's white truck was found parked near a locked gate along the Sioux Hustler Trail, packed with supplies. Local authorities, concerned by the lack of communication, began searching. But with winter closing in fast, conditions quickly became too treacherous to continue. The snow buried the trail and the truth. Then, in April 2019, as the snow finally began to melt, Conservation Officer Sean Williams stumbled across a haunting sight. On a remote, south-facing slope, he found a primitive campsite. A hammock hung under a green tarp. Blood stained the sleeping bag beneath it. A loaded 9mm Beretta pistol lay nearby, untouched. Around the camp, there were wolf tracks and scat, but no sign of Jordan. As the thaw continued, investigators uncovered more. Scattered across the area were fragments of Jordan's remains, 12 bones in total. His skull was never found. The scene offered more questions than answers. The campsite appeared hastily assembled. The tarp and hammock were intact, suggesting there hadn't been a struggle. The blood, however, told a different story. This was no minor injury. One theory suggested a wolf attack. His mother, Rebecca Grider, believed Jordan may have been ambushed in his sleep, but researchers, including wolf expert Thomas Gable, were skeptical. Fatal wolf attacks in Minnesota are virtually unheard of, and the condition of the campsite didn't align with the chaos such an attack would cause. Another possibility was a tragic accident. Jordan was known to keep his knives razor sharp. Some speculated he might have cut himself severely, perhaps while carving or shaving. Makeshift bandages were found near the tent, hinting at an attempt to treat an injury, but no bloody knife was ever located, and the sheer volume of blood in the hammock suggested the wound was far more than a small slip. Foul play officially ruled out, but the untouched gun and absence of defensive injuries left a sliver of doubt. Some even floated bizarre theories. Mythical creatures like Sasquatch or the Wendigo were mentioned online. These ideas stayed in the realm of speculation, never supported by evidence. In May 2019, Jordan's family visited the site. It was a somber journey. Rebecca noted that there were no wood shavings around the camp. Strange, since Jordan was always carving something. To her, this suggested he'd only spent one night there. Despite cadaver dogs and intensive searches, most of Jordan's remains were never found. The case was eventually closed, with no conclusive cause of death. But for those who knew and loved him, the mystery still lingers. Was Jordan the victim of nature, an accident, or something we may never understand?
You're never too old to be someone's whole world. My friends made fun of me when I ordered this AI companion dog. Then now they're all asking.
In the early morning hours of July 6, 2021, the peaceful town of Ovando, Montana, nestled beside the Blackfoot River, became the scene of a chilling and tragic encounter. 65-year-old Leah Davis Loken, a retired nurse from Chico, California, met an apex predator face-to-face and sadly didn't survive. Leah was no stranger to adventure. She had a deep love for the outdoors and was known among her friends and family as a passionate cyclist. That summer, she set out on a long-distance ride along the Great Divide mountain bike route, a journey she had been planning for months. Her route took her through remote and scenic stretches of the American West, eventually bringing her to the tiny town of Ovando, population fewer than 100. It's known for its rustic charm, but more ominously, it's also on the edge of grizzly bear territory. The nearby Bob Marshall Wilderness Complex is home to nearly 1,000 grizzlies. Leah arrived in Ovando with her sister and a friend, and while they chose to stay at a nearby hotel for the night, Leah opted instead to camp outdoors. She pitched her tent behind the local museum, joined by a Texas couple camping nearby. At around 3 a.m., Leah and the other campers were jolted awake by the sounds of something large moving through the campsite. A grizzly bear, later weighed at 417 pounds, was right outside their tents. Leah could hear it breathing, hear the low, huffing sounds it made as it passed near her head. The group sprang into action, making noise to scare it off, and it worked. The bear vanished into the darkness. Cautious but calm, Leah took steps to reduce any attractants. She removed food items, packaged snacks and dry lentils, from her tent and placed them in a nearby building. She even kept bear spray close at hand before returning to her tent. When offered another chance to retreat to the safety of the hotel, Leah declined. The stars, the peace, this was the wilderness experience she loved, but she missed something. Inside her tent were 2 toiletry bags, ones she had previously used to store dried blueberries. The scent still lingered. Just 10 feet away, her bike held food in its saddlebags, yet another tempting aroma for a hungry bear. Less than an hour later, at about 4 a.m., the grizzly returned. This time, it didn't hesitate. The bear tore into Leah's tent and launched a brutal attack. The Texas couple awoke to the chaos. The man could see the bear pouncing on Leah's tent and desperately sprayed his bear deterrent, shouting to scare it off. But the damage had already been done. Leah was killed almost instantly, her neck broken and spine severed. Wildlife officials later concluded that the bear had likely been food conditioned, a dangerous behavior in which bears associate humans with food after scavenging garbage or campsites. It had likely targeted Leah because of the lingering food scents and her movements inside the tent. 3 days later, the same bear raided a chicken coop near Ovando. Wildlife agents tracked and euthanized it. DNA tests confirmed it was the same bear responsible for Leah's death. The tragedy sparked urgent conversations about outdoor safety in bear country. Investigators stressed the importance of proper food storage, eliminating scented items from tents, and always carrying and knowing how to use bear spray. Most importantly, they urged campers, if a bear approaches, don't just go back to sleep in the same spot. Move, seek shelter in a building or vehicle. Leah Davis Loken's death was heartbreaking and rare, but it serves as a powerful reminder. In bear country, the line between adventure and danger can be razor thin. The Red Valley of Peru is a place of stunning contrasts. Rolling hills painted in deep reds and lush greens, sculpted by mineral-rich soil and thousands of years of geological history. For nature lovers, it's a dream. For adventurers, a challenge. But in November 2024, for Gabriela Diana Basalo, it became the setting of an unimaginable tragedy.
That's not